experience of sparkle in these terms. But now I want to leave the floor to someone or something that was absolutely unknown to me. His name, or its name, is Albedo in Italian, or in English is Albedo. I don't know if you know what is albedo. Absolutely, I didn't know. I'm going to ask it to Francesco Favaro, what is albedo, and what have to do with the energy efficiency team, and of course cost and benefits of this very well unknown albedo.
Okay.
Francesco.
Well, albedo, first of all, thank you for the invitation and for this possibility to share knowledge about some kind of technology that can really become a game changer in the fight for the reduction of global warming and for the carbon footprint. Albedo, we can define albedo as the fraction of the sun radiation that is reflected by the planet. We receive a certain amount of energy from the sun. Part of this energy is absorbed, and this increases the temperature of the planet. And part of it is reflected through space, reducing the temperature. Now, managing this fraction can allow us to achieve very high now I go back to the energy saving that we need to achieve. Very high quantity of energy that can be saved in terms of cooling, for example. And as Wattage International Group, we had the possibility to test the technology at different latitude because we work in different countries. This, for example, is a case study in Milan, where the use of an high reflective coating on the roof of, this is Assago, is Milano Fiori Assago. The use of the technology on the roof, as you can see, cut by 50% the temperature of the surface. This could achieve a reduction of about 27% of the energy consumption, 25% in the AC, that usually in malls or this kind of structure is mostly for all the years, and 4% in the food refrigeration, because of course my building is colder, so I need less energy to maintain the temperature inside. Then, this is another example in Athens, this is the prefecture of Athens. Also here, as you can see, even measuring at different times of the day, the reflectivity allowed to cut drastically the temperature on the roof. Same things here in Abu Dhabi. This is an exercise that we have done with Abu Dhabi Port, where we tested the behavior of two identical structures in the same place. In one, we applied the high reflective coating on the roof. In the other one, we didn't. And for 3 months, we have done electric consumption measurement. While the weather was going hotter and hotter, because we started in February, we saw the increasing of energy consumption of the uncoated roof building, and the difference at the end of the exercise between the two consumption was up to 32%, okay, 30%. There are many effects correlated to the use of the albedo that are not just the direct energy consumption impact. There is a big impact also in the air temperature around, so in the reduction of the urban heat island effect. Is the effect for who, when we move from outside the town to the town, when the sun goes down in the afternoon, the town usually is hotter than outside the town. This is due to the fact that during the day, our building, our structure get heat from the sun. They store this heat, and in the moment that the sun goes down, they start to release this heat, and they just warm each other. Europe spends from 5 to 6% of the total energy consumption just to compensate the heat island effect. In the UAE, this value is double. Of course, for climate question, but also because there is a different kind of insulation in the building and so on. The tricky things of the technology of the albedo is the fact that can be applied and used almost on anything, from your shirt to your car to your roof, to your parking, to your road, and regarding this, we have done many projects in other countries,
including in the UAE. So I know that you have a testimonial here,
yes.
And I want to ask him to join us on the stage. Mr. Ahmed Al-Masri is a testimonial of the cooperation of this Italian experience, Italian International Watergy. Mr. Al-Masri is from the Department of Research, Studies and Development of the UAE Ministry of Energy Infrastructure. Can you show us another example applied or realized here in the UAE of the saving energy through Albedo technology or system or procedures of techniques, please?
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. And we believe, in our department, we believe that research can lead to real innovation. So here, what we have done, we have tested the Albedo technology in one of the ministry buildings. And here, as you can see in the picture, we are located the place, which is kind of desert place, which is kind of hot place. We have very optimal buildings because it has like a mirroring. You can see that it's symmetric, so we can see the differences between the two sides of the buildings. And this project, the ministry has invested thousands of hundreds of dirhams with cooperation of University of Sharjah and Water UI company. You can see here the nice thing we are caring about is not only the energy, as Francis has been focused, we focused more on the carbon footprint. So here we focus on how to measure the CO2 compensated amount and how much it will be cost in long-term investment. So we're talking about 20 to 25 years investment. So in small calculation with this space about, we coated the half place, you can see in the building, we managed to increase the reflection, the light reflection, which is reducing the CO2 or getting more compensated CO2. And also the visibility, which is the albedo, we call the albedo, has been increased from 0.2 to almost 0.7. This is the minimum, actually 0.7. It's more than this, which is, you can see that it's more than 50%. But how we can measure it in larger scale? So the temperature, we measure it in two different seasons, which is summer and winter. We're talking about, the focal points, which is in December, cold temperature. We managed to reduce by 5% in average. In summer, we managed to reduce by 15 degrees in average, of course, during the days. So coming back to the conclusion of the CO2 compensated, if we talk about coating an area of 81,000 square meter, we could manage to increase the albedo, which is a light reflection, by more than 50%, which is actually, if you're talking about CO2 compensation, about 5,000 tons. How much it will be equal? According to the calculation of the European Union allowance emissions trading system, this could lead to investment of 2 million, or let's say compensated 2 million dirham, with only cost of investment 100 million. So we're talking about 50% investment.
Thank you very much. No, I thank you really. The last questions to Francesco Favarò is again about albedo and the impact of albedo in terms of reduction of carbon footprint. Last but not least, Mrs. Todini, President Todini said she's from Perugia. From Umbria, at least, no? From Umbria.
From Perugia.
Perugia, perfetto. So you signed also an MOU, an agreement between Watergy, University of Sharjah, University of Perugia. What's the aim of this?
The aim of the MOU is this. Albedo, as I said before, compensate the effect of CO2. has been scientifically proved, and the University of Perugia has developed a methodology to quantify exactly how many tons of CO2 we compensate based on the albedo that we generate. Of course, this depends from the latitude, from the place, but for example, in Europe, every 10 square meters of surface with high albedo, we compensate 1 ton of CO2. Here in UAE, it's every 5 square meters. Just to give a simple number, today, the cost of 1 ton of CO2 on the European trade market is €100, if I'm not wrong. So if we apply an high albedo coating on a structure like a mall or 200,000 square meters of warehouses, we can generate $5 million for 25 years. And going back to what Dr. Satonelli was saying, this is something that can be generalized. Everybody can do it. The cost of the technology is low. So if we put together the CO2 that we are not going to produce due to the energy saving, that can go up to 30%, and the CO2 that we can compensate, this can really an easy game-changing technology. And everybody can achieve it. Of course, the problem is that we need political support. We need that the governments take place, and for this we have sent a letter to the government here in UAE to ask for the next COP28 to propose to the international community the approval of the albedo as a way to produce tradable credit carbon. This to incentives the technology, but also to finally give a voice of what the academic world has been tested, proved, and validated since almost 20 years now.
Thank you.